Despite being in a cult together, my grandmother and my mother do not like each other. And from what I can piece together, my mom met my dad at a church dance and then wanted to get married like really, really fast to get away from my grandmother. But they have this weird dynamic and that did not last for long. So my mother's newly married and she starts spending more and more time with my grandmother. And Jima is not happy that my mother married somebody who isn't white. Yes, Jima is mega racist. And her grandkids are either half Chinese or half Latin. One experience that had me burst into tears as a little kid is when my grandmother was talking to a friend and she started apologizing to her friend that she didn't have any white grandkids. So possibly, Jima doesn't like that my mom married this non-white person. My mom is not so happy in her marriage. And she brings up, well, you know what Asian people are known for? Worshipping Satan, of course. They get their hands on this manual talking about satanic ritualistic abuse, and a story is born. And the fact that my dad wasn't white plays into this whole story. The racism he's experienced in the Mormon church, the fact that people are helping the white side of my family but completely rejecting my dad. And my dad's English isn't that great. So for instance, one time, my grandmother recorded a phone call that she then replays to a bunch of her friends, where my dad is pleading to see his babies. He wants to see his children. And he says, I want to care for my children. But because his English wasn't as great back then, it audibly sounds like I want to unalive, you know what I'm trying to say, my children. I want to care my children versus I want to my children, how it might sound in broken English. Now, the reason I'm piecing this pattern together of, okay, I'm not happy in my marriage, so I'm gonna make up a story about my husband with my mom, is because I saw it happen a second time. I haven't even told you about my mother's second marriage.